Hello, welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever those Zangor enlightened on discs that Alex likes are to that six plus show. I am your host Tom, very low-sted man. I'm back once again with the lovable nerds of six plus to talk all things Warhammer 40,000 with you tonight, and we're tier listing it. You love tier lists, absolutely love them. So we're going to give you what you want, but we're going to be ranking factions in 40k based on how awesome or not awesome we think they are in 40k competitive teams as well. Something we've got a bit of experience on. We all have some strong opinions on. Should get relatively incendiary relatively quickly, which should be.
Oh yeah.
Before that, I'm going to introduce our cast of players. We will do a smidgen of self-promotion, and we'll go from there. If you're in the chat, let us know what you're up to. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know you're here. Let us know what you're doing. Are you hobbying? Are you painting? Were you at an event this weekend? Did you perhaps encounter some blue men on foot? And what did you think of that experience? Let us know in the chat. Speaking of Blue Men on Foot, I've got the world's greatest Victrix player here. He is a guest tonight. It's Alex Fowler of Team England. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I only just got back. I'm a bit frazzled, but overall good. And coming off of a very fun weekend using the most broken bullshit I think I've ever played.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very strong army, isn't it? It's in quite a strong spot. We'll come back to that in a little bit because I know Jack has some things to say about it as well. But you've done the full event followed by straight into working week. Very hectic. How are your energy levels holding up?
Yeah, not great. big weekend coming up, so that's exciting.
Okay.
Yes, a little flattened. Slept at I think like 9:30 p.m. last night, just as soon as I got home. Just
nice.
Absolutely out.
Well, that was one of the reasons I wanted to start the show earlier tonight, so that we can get through it and survive. So we'll see how we do. I'm also joined tonight by lovely Rob Kimpton, the true Archon, the actual Drukhari player in my team. Rob, how are you doing?
Yeah, really well. Painting up some Hellions for this weekend.
Excellent.
It's Leicester. It's not. Yeah, it is
Leicester.
Leicester.
It is Leicester, Rob.
It is Leicester. Yeah. So excited taking Spectral Spite, taking 4 Talos, which I don't think anyone else is really doing.
No.
So I think they really like the new boards because Scourge is shit. Let's all agree. Scourge do nothing. Yeah. So I figure let's have some haywire that doesn't die to Overwatch.
Yes. No, that makes a lot of sense. Scourge are very frustrating, and Talos brings something a bit different. Oh, that should be really fun. And Spectral Spite, obviously, we've been high on it for a while. It seems to be settling into a groove. Are you still enjoying playing that?
Yeah, it's good. I need to start changing it up now because I've been playing UKTC where you can only play 15 Hellions, really. But now we've got this new terrain, playing on WTC and stuff. You can play the full 30. I think you guys saw that on the weekend, didn't you?
We did. We did. It was there. It was an army that was at the event, and there were lots of Hellions. And I mean, our very own Chris Irvine of Team Scotland did very well and caused something of a ruckus with it. And a shout out to Danny Porter, who was on my team, because he did casually 20-0 Struan of Team Scotland with it, which was always, Drukhari 20-0 Aeldari is a pretty good feeling. You know, that doesn't happen very often. So well done, Danny. And he managed to beat Victrix Guard across the event as well.
Lovely.
So some very cool things there. Right, I'm going to hand over to him. He's got some stats for you, I believe. That's what he led me to believe. It's the wonderful Jack Chapman. He's got mischief in his eyes. Jack, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I had my first singles event with Guard last week. Very happy with that. Went undefeated, came third. So
nice, well done.
Happy. I unfortunately did. I wasn't able to. I drew for second, and then came third on strength schedule. But the first place was Drukhari Spectral Spite with 30 Hellions, scoring 300 points.
That's amazing. There you go.
There isn't really much I could do against that.
No,
but it was a really, really fun event. That was really good. It was East Midlands Slam RTT, down in
good events.
Yeah.
And what flavour of Guard was it, Jack?
It's just combined.
Combined.
I like my Cadians, and that is the Cadian detachment, and it happens to be probably the best Guards attachment, so it just works out.
Yeah.
I've also been doing a little bit of stats during downtime. I just like looking at stats. So I did a little breakdown of factions and player reloads and that sort of stuff, similar to what I did to ITT. I'll post a link to that in the in our Discord. So you can see it if you want to. But yeah, most interesting things I thought about there was just the quantity of Space Marines and Eldar, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of very good players taking Eldar at this event. So I'm not sure what kind of conclusion you can draw from that. I'm not very good at data analysis. I'm just good at finding the numbers.
I think they're very good. They're very good, and I think when you're looking around for things that can beat Marines, they're probably one of the first things you think of as well. So I think it's the two old enemies, isn't it, throwing down?
Yeah. Speaking of Marines, obviously Victrix are the kind of big boogeymen, as we mentioned. So I decided to take a look through and see how many Victrix were at the event, just so I know how many games I'm going to lose if I match into Space Marines. So there are 29 Space Marine players at this event, as far as I'm aware, and then that's changed. People have added extra lists or something.
Okay.
And of those players, 7 of them are not running Ultramarines. They're running like Raven Guard or Salamanders or Iron Hands, whatever else, right? So that leaves 22 factions of Ultramarines. How many total Victrix Guard do you think there are at this event across 22 lists?
So 22 lists. How many Victrix Guard? And what counts? Is it just the individual units?
It's including the 2 from
including the 2 from Cal.
Including the 2. I'm
going for a casual 286.
Yeah, I was going to go 250.
Higher or lower?
270.
270. Okay, so you're all wrong, obviously, because
people aren't meta chasing hard enough.
It's 243. Is
okay,
an average of 11 per list.
Wow, that's quite restrained from some people.
Most people that have taken them,
hobby lag.
Yeah, most people that have taken them have gone for 12 plus Calgar.
Yeah.
But there's like 3 or 4 that are the full 18 plus Calgar.
Okay.
But yeah, for the most part, it's 12 plus Calgar.
And is it all Gladius, Jack, or have we got some Storm Lances, some Mad Lads?
Oh yeah, all Gladius.
Just all Gladius. Is anyone running the Blades of Ultra Duty?
Tom, don't ask silly questions.
Okay, fine. Look, Marine players just
there's more than one detachment. Come on.
Why would you do anything else?
Crying out for a shred of imagination, boys. Do something. Okay, no, that's fine. What do we think is going to win the event?
Space Marines or Eldar?
It's going to be Eldar.
I'm
probably
going
Eldar.
Siege Demons. Siege Demons have got it. They've got it in the bag. If it's all Eldar and Marines, don't worry, it'll be fine. Scintillating Legion's going to take it down. It'll be all right.
That's good. No, I mean, I do think it's probably going to be Eldar. I think there's a lot of really good players playing Eldar.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I would probably, you'd probably back that.
I'm sure all the Eldar players will pop up soon and tell us why all the good players playing Eldar does not, in fact, mean they're a good faction. But
it is. As I say, it's the Marines' fault for being good.
Yeah, exactly.
We had to get the elves out to deal with it, I think, and I think that's one of those things. Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably it. It's just our hand has been forced by the rest of the meta.
That's me though. That's my week. I'm just kind of crunching
through. Congrats on the 3-0. I'd seen you'd done it. I hadn't realised it was with Guard. That's really cool. So that's fantastic. And venturing into your new Guard era, really exciting. Okay, guys, we will soon be segueing into our tier list. I'm going to do a tiny little bit of self-promotion first. Thanks for supporting us. You all rock. Please do hit like, subscribe, leave a comment on the video if you haven't already. We've got coaching, we've got all that good stuff. Drop us a message. We've got a whole coaching Discord. We're running that, leveling up people all the time. If you're interested in learning how to play the game a little bit better and having fun whilst you do it, we will help you out with that. Today is a special self-promotion, though, because it's more self-promotion-y even than normal. And my goodness, I just refreshed it, and that's mental. We have launched a fundraiser. We have launched that 6++ fundraiser. And the gist of this is, and I might even read my own words, guys, for 5 years, we have devoted ourselves to this hobby and all the wonderful people who play it. We've been making content for a very long time. In that time, we have become YouTube celebrities, with a hint of irony, event organisers, international competitors, commentators, community coaches, all sorts of other amazing things. We've put in a lot of time. You guys have put in tons of time supporting us every step of the way as well. And essentially, we are taking the next big step in 2026. It's time for us to build Studio++. We're going to work on that in the background. We want a streaming setup there. And basically, we've launched a fundraiser to help raise some money for the streaming setup. This is going to cover our events that we've been running. It's going to help us celebrate other amazing events around the UK. We'd love to get out to Saffron Slam, for example, Lewis's event, do coverage there. And it's also going to help us to go to WTC 2026 and stream the Team England games there as well. So loads of exciting things planned for it. And we're hard at work setting it up and getting bits and pieces for it already, but obviously we're looking for a little bit of community support with the funding. So that's what we're going to be throwing our super chats towards in the future. So if you want to super chat us here, that's what it'll be going towards. And if someone is able to set us up a goal in the chat, that's amazing. But you'll see also we have a GoFundMe page now. We're chucking that link in the chat, and we'll promote that around as well going forwards. Obviously, only give whatever you're able to give, but that'd be amazing. We can't wait, and I think the stream in the studio is going to be a really exciting next step for us. And as fun as blurry, little live streams from all of our bedrooms is, it'd be nice to do some in-person stuff in the future. But yeah, thanks for helping us get to that point. It's been absolutely incredible. All right, so tier lists. Share screen. Here we go. What we're doing tonight is a tier list with a twist. We are thinking about factions primarily in terms of their value in teams 40k. Okay, so this is something that... Oh, that's interesting. That's not what I wanted. How do I make that go away?
Just drag.
Yeah, aha! We've done it. Success. This is something we all have quite a lot of experience in. We're all teams players, probably first and foremost these days in many ways. And obviously, once you get to the level of playing an army in 40k in teams, the value and the things it brings, the issues it has, are changed considerably. And what we're going to do today is think a little bit about how we might rank different armies in the game based on their value in teams. I think there's a lot of different ways you can slice it. What I'm going to do before we start chucking out ranks... We've got all our usual tiers, S, A, B, C, D. I'll invite people to throw an army in and justify their choice. Before we do it, I always like to ask the guys for some criteria to work with. So, Alex, what makes something good in teams?
Being able to play half the things in the game.
Yes.
Without them having any say about it.
That is a very honest answer. Army being able to smash a lot of other armies is a really important team's role. Okay, there's obviously a number of different ways it can do that. It might just be overpowered a lot of the time. We'll get to that. It does tend to be. It might be a little bit unknown. That helps sometimes as well, I think. People don't understand it. That gives you an in to do horrible things to people as well. And it might just play certain fundamentals of 40k really well and be insufferable to deal with for certain armies on certain boards, those kinds of things. Right? I think WTC, some armies are great on light boards, some are on heavy boards, different context. But as you say, Alex, it needs to be able to really, really beat some stuff, right? Otherwise, why are we taking it?
Exactly.
All right. Rob, how about you? What's the criteria for you for a good team's faction?
From a completely defensive point of view, something that can play everything and get 10s.
It's another option, right? Draw everything, blunt things, hold things up. An army that can go and scrap with anything and stop really big smashy armies from running away with all the points.
You want something to get 10s against the armies that Alex just described.
Yeah, it's the other job. Alex has no time for that job, but it does exist. There are indeed people that blunt the big smashy armies. It can happen to anyone.
And playing the overpowered army against the blunty army and going, damn it, I can't get any more. I can't do my thing. This is very annoying.
It's a really, really sad time. All right, Jack, for yourself, what's something that makes a good team's faction?
I think something that can take advantage of board choice is a really good shout as well. When you're like doing your pairings and you're thinking about it in the sense of, okay, this round, we're going to get board choice, or we know they're going to get board choice, and things that will play well into that. Think if you're going to play on a light board, you want something that's maybe you're abusing lone ops, right, to get to avoid the shooting heavy armies on light boards, or something really heavy shooting high mobility that will just abuse the light board the other way, right, and just get a 20 on it.
Absolutely.
Or same goes reverse for the heavy boards, right? Something like World Eaters or EC, where they can hide a huge number of bodies behind. a very close staging area that can kind of abuse that setup.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think those are massive things, and armies that can be taken to extremes that also suit the terrain setups and demands of teams, I think are really, really effective. Exactly how effective might vary from moment to moment, but I think that's a massive thing. I think one of the things I'm struck by often with this is that armies which are able to adapt to metas are also a lot more fun in teams than ones that can't. Right? There are one build wonders that turn up for a bit and then basically just suffer for huge chunks of a meta. And then there are armies which will always be able to go away and find another thing and come back with something else. And I mean, the bigger, deeper collections obviously help with this. But armies with very good toolkit units are also really good for this, where they can customize very heavily. You might, I reckon, guys, be able to guess which army we might put at the top of this tier list already from what we've said. I'm quite curious to see if it does indeed end up there. But there we are. Those are our criteria. You, the chat, let us know what you think as well. I'd love to hear if you think other things would be valuable in terms of what makes your army good or bad in teams, maybe from your own experience as well. Okay. Caster players now basically get to pick a faction and wing it in and then justify their choice. Okay, so that's what they're going to be doing going forward. I'm going to start with Jack. I'm going to let Jack go first. Jack, what's a faction you're going to rank and where you're going to put them?
Oh, let's start with the curveball. Let's go Tyranids.
Oh, this is a spicy one. Okay, Tyranids, Jack. Explain.
So I think Tyranids are a pretty good teams army.
Okay.
And I say that because they're one of the best all-rounders in the game right now.
Uh-huh.
If you know how to play Aeldari, Tyranids, really, they're on my brain.
They're always in the back of your mind.
If you know how to play Tyranids really well, especially something like Invasion Fleet, there's a lot of stuff you can go into and just be, as Rob mentioned earlier, that army that gets 10s, right? You have a lot of tools for stuff like primary denial. You have a bunch of lone ops you can use. You can have damage output into basically any kind of build. You have movement shenanigans. You have ways to stay alive. You've basically got every tool you could kind of need as a Tyranids player to play the team's event. Are you going to be smashing people 20-0 with Tyranids? No, it's not really that kind of faction. But it's going to be very stable and it can play on a huge variety of boards. Which is, it kind of makes them like an unsung hero of a team's comp, right?
Oh, and that's the definition of what they are. Yeah, for sure. Where would you put them then, Jack?
I would say A tier.
I actually think A tier is very fair.
Probably low A tier, but A tier.
Yeah, I think they swing in and out of metas, don't they? Because sometimes the meta's just so out of whack, they just get lifted. But if they're not in that position, I completely agree. The other thing I love about Tyranids is a player's face when Shadows kills like 2 of their diff points. Because they're trying to get a differential up. And then it's like, no, actually, you don't. And I think that Shadows in the Warp is actually quite a unique tool in teams at the moment, just because it does kneecap score and it does bring games down to a closer position quite a lot of the time. So I think I'll accept a low A.
I think it's probably important to say as well, like, I think Tyranids are much better as a team's army than they are as a singles army.
Definitely.
Because I think their ability to like just generate a solid amount of points, but not 20-0 someone is not very good for a singles army, right? Because you probably, if you go purely on score, you're probably going to be losing like half your games, potentially more as Tyranids, but you're going to have kept it to like an 11-9, 12-8, like at worst, right? So even though maybe they are not spectacular on the singles front, on the team's event, that kind of with the differential kind of scoring, it pushes them up a lot more.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, Alex, your go, mate.
Interesting. Now, I'm scanning this list of teams armies, and they're all good. I'm finding it very hard to single out one that is the best or one that is the worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to go with Votann.
Okay, Votann, take us through it.
And controversially, I think I'm going to put them in B.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'd have them in B. Go on, explain it.
Votann have a list that has worked for 10th edition. And that list is the team's list. And everyone knows exactly what it does and what it beats and what it loses to. That does make it a good teams list, but it also makes it not something that is unexpected in a comp.
Yeah.
Not something that is is particularly great in a comp. I would say previous years before the Codex, that team's list was much better.
Yes.
But I also think it does have a tendency to just get flattened, especially if not piloted by someone who is extremely good at not letting themselves get flattened. Like, I don't think it's got Tyranids where the Tyranids list you build to just take a bit of a beating, score some points. The Votann lists do that as well, but I don't think they do that the same way as the Nids do. I think they have one build that works, and if you run into someone who's built to beat it, it goes back.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think what we've always found, and I've tested many of Votann for teams over the last couple of years, and you just feel yourself going into armies that just dance around you and make you feel very silly and very honest. And I think there's not quite the flexibility to build out from that position. I think maybe they've got a couple more builds now. The Delve Assault Shift is interesting. They've got maybe a couple of different angles you can cover there. Hearthband with all the infantry, like Greg was running, is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's still going to be some dwarves.
It's going to be some very slow,
two
non-flexible.
And 2 land forts, as Rob said. Yeah, 2 land forts, and then some guys, and you know it's coming. And it hasn't really come on leaps and bounds in complexity since then. I think that's fair. As we adjust this, they may even slip down. I guess we'll see. But certainly, B for now feels fair. Robert, it is your choice now, sir.
Let's go for a different angle. Let's go Blood Angels.
Okay.
So, Blood Angels, solid. They're a solid army.
Yep.
I think they struggle at the moment in team selection. So, I'm going to put them straight into a C.
Okay, Blood Angels in C.
Yeah.
Wow. Go on, Rob.
So they are solid. They are a solid, fast melee army.
Yep.
What they also do is take the Marine slot.
They do.
So
that's one of the things they do. They also get 20 owed, Rob.
They also get 20 owed. So what about it? They're fast melee that are Marine bodies, and at the moment the meta is filled with fast Marine bodies that kill better than Blood Angels and have better strats. You've got Emperor's Children, you've got World Eaters. I mean, you've got Drukhari fill the same role that's better because it's got better shooting. That's saying something. But yeah, it's one of those questions of when you're looking at teams, when you pick something, it blocks out other choices, and I think that's what this really is going to struggle with.
Yeah, categorically. I think BA, I think, are solid. I think, I'd say it's been one of those. Earlier in the edition, they were terrifying in their own way. I think in teams they're quite volatile and need a little bit of princessing, and they are fragile. And this book has only sort of continued in that vein, really. And certainly what we've always found when we try Blood Angels is that you can win big and lose big, and it just adds a massive degree of volatility.
It wasn't last WTC, it was WTC before, wasn't it? A lot of people took Blood Angels, and a lot of people got zeros with them. Everyone was like, that is the most scary list ever, and then it got solved.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I think the problem you tend to find with Blood Angels is because they're using the defensive profile of Space Marines, right? That a lot of people are kind of ready to kill that.
Yes.
And they don't necessarily have... They have the speed, but they don't have a lot of the combat tricks. They don't have a lot of fights first. They don't have a lot of fight on death. And that's to make them really good in the combat matchups. So they're a decent combat army, but not against other combat armies.
Yeah.
Which is not really a good place to be. So I think that's kind of the main reason they need babying so hard. They're kind of one of the most fragile Marine armies because of that.
Yeah.
And so I think they do tend to struggle in that sense. That I don't think they're really doing anything better than any of the other Marine factions, other than having like 50 jump pack dudes on the board, which, you know, is cool. It's cute. Is it going to win you a bunch of teams games? No. It'll win you a bunch of singles games, for sure. Yeah. But teams, I think you're going to struggle quite a bit more.
Can your opponent do the Marty's Brick? Cool. You are having a bad day.
That seems entirely reasonable to me. I'm going to go with one of the reasons they're further down, and I'm going to put Emperor's Children firmly upper end of A. This could change. This is not a forever thing. But Emperor's Children, I think, in teams in general across time, even before they had their own book, essentially their identity as a faction is being the combat matchup masters, right? That's their thing. They are anti-melee for other melee armies. They are brutal. They are fast. That's a good thing to be in the lower end of pairings in teams. That's not too shabby to have fights first, kicking about, to have speed, have advance and charge, all sorts of things on a plate. And they tend to have a very good toolkit for punishing elf-type armies, which, again, if you're going down that end of pairings, you can expect one or two of those to turn up. And they're also very good in any kind of melee mirror as well. And they've got the guns to back it up. I think in that sense, they get the jump on a lot of equivalent types of armies if they're played well. They do have that same BA that can all go wrong. They can die really hard. And obviously we're in a sort of early era for them in their newest form. But I really like them in teams, and I think they are that sort of specialised predator faction. The 20-0 seeking sort of army that Alex alluded to earlier on. They do that very well. Okay, moving it back over to you, Jack. Oh, you coming in?
I was just going to say, I think they're another faction that really needs their pairings baby in quite a lot.
Yes, they're a princess.
Because they have a lot of matchups they really don't like. Their knights of both varieties they don't like. Tau they really don't like. Guard they really don't like, especially if they're tank heavy.
Yes.
There's a lot of factions they really do not want to tangle with. So you've got to be really careful when you're pairing them. But when you get the matchup, they're very polarizing, right? They're going to be getting very high scores or very low scores. It's going to be very little middling with them.
And that's why their singles win rate bears no relation to their value in teams at all, right? They have a rubbish singles win rate because in singles they don't get to hide at the end and beat someone up. That's not how it works. But in teams, if you use them that way, they are phenomenally effective. Okay, Jack, passing it over to you for another guess, sir.
I'm so tempted to take Drukhari away from you two.
Brick!
Let's talk about Drukhari.
How are you tossed?
Damn it. That was going to be my one. If you don't put it where I wanted it,
do you want annoyed. And I'll take guard. Does that sound good for the next round?
Yeah, sounds fine.
I think we're going to agree on this. Come on, Jack, just do it already.
C tier.
Okay, no. C tier. Alex wants them lower down.
I'm being nice for the sake of the two Drukhari players.
We need something in D tier, and you look at the rest of that list.
Yeah, I think we're going to
end up... Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Put it in D tier. I'll stop being nice. The problem with Drukhari, right, is they are so fragile. And I played a lot of teams events with Drukhari, Rob, and the problem that we always have is we look at it and we're like, yeah, this is fine. And then we get to the event and then Rob will do his pairings and he'll be like, well, I lose against 4 of these lists. Unless I get table choice.
I draw against half of these lists is what I say.
Well, no, you say you lose
and I will get a 1 against 2.
No. You say this is how it works. We look at the matrix, right? And you say, if I get this, I get a 0. And I'm like, okay, if I get these 3, I would probably lose unless I go first. It's kind of a flip. And then this 1, I'll win. And then he'll end up getting one of the matchups he's going to lose unless he goes first. He'll go second and then get a 10-10 anyway. That's kind of how Rob operates. Most people won't get that 10-10, admittedly. Yeah. But, we're memeing a bit. But unironically, the problem with Drukhari is they are another one of those factions that has very warped matchups with some things that are very good for them, some things that are very bad. The problem is that they have way more bad matchups than they have good ones. And it's a very fragile faction, which means that if you do something wrong and you make a misplay, then that can cascade very quickly and you could end up losing a lot of points, which you may be able to scramble around for, just to get some more points and get like a points win, which would be fine in singles. But in teams, that's just going to push you down to like a 10-10, 11-9. Which it just ends up being really volatile, which is not something that you want in your teams, that way.
I think that's just it is volatile and it is extremely hard to push with because your output and is so variable and you're so squishy. If you get that push wrong, you get it wrong. And if you want a shameless plug, on Monday, I recorded a teams with Spectacle of Spite. Which is going out on Monday afternoon.
Oh, amazing!
So you can hear my thoughts about that as well. I agree with that. It's you need someone who knows exactly what they're doing to get 10-10s and small wins.
Yeah.
That is the reality of it. It is hard work, and if you get it wrong, one of the games at ITT, I used one CP in the wrong place. It went from an 8 to a 4. That's just what happens. Yeah, I agree.
It's
down
punishing and it's vulnerable, and teams is about punishing vulnerability, right? So ultimately,
there's a reason why I was, I think, third top Drukhari player with a 3-2 record.
Yeah, and I will say this:
ITT.
one of my formative couple of years getting into teams, one of the key learnings was it doesn't do anything that Eldar doesn't do.
Yep.
And it has worse issues than Eldar, and it has less upside than Eldar. And the things that people do to tech for Eldar, which they always do, because Eldar is always there, also hurt Drukhari, and then you're trying to save both at the same time. It's a disaster. It gets a bit difficult, right? And I
want to add something as well.
Go on.
Is when you think back, you probably have to go back until the 9th Ed Drukhari Codex.
Yes.
Reigning the world, to want them in an 8.
Yeah.
Over at your pick of anything else. Unless you have...
Completely. It's been a whole edition since they were
the best player at that thing on it. It just doesn't cut the mustard.
Yeah, so. I think that's absolutely right. Sorry, Drukhari. Sorry indeed. Right, Alex.
If you're a Drukhari player, go watch my review on a bit more positive. It's all right.
Yeah, yeah. There is other stuff. There's plenty going on, and again, we're having to choose out of all the factions.
And this is also all factions over all of.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not playing 30-man teams here. There's so, Alex, what's your next pick, mate?
See, I was going to go Drukhari. Now we've talked about it. I'm going to go for Black Templars.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Go on then. Where are you putting them?
And I'm going to go, and I'm going to put them in B again.
Okay, nice.
Above
or below Votann?
Definitely above Votann.
Certainly when me and Josh played it, they felt above Votann.
So, Black Templars have been incredibly hot or cold.
Yeah.
And incredibly unique in what makes them good as a team's army. Now, as you said with the Blood Angels, they unfortunately take up your Marine slot.
Yes.
But if everyone is expecting fast gun in your Marine slot, Black Templars have always brought a very different thing to that. Currently, they're going to be completely washed out by Victrix Guard just being a million times better. But that doesn't matter. If we think back to the Black Templar Horde that won WTC last year, that was a meta-defining list for that event. And we think about Black Templars now, and some of the people who are making it work, it is a very good army, but it's never been, on average, better than some of the other Marine picks. So I'm going to go with B. But above Blood Angels, because I think its highs have been higher, but its lows have been lower.
Yeah, I think that's very reasonable, and it's quite it's been quite dependable, this new Black Templars build, right? It's very grindy. It can go and play most things. It can bunker down and jump in and out of transports, everything else, and it does have massive damage going for it, and they always have that massive damage.
The Horde list had that as well. It was a ton of
had that.
And a ton of damage.
And that feels like that's only ever a couple of tweaks away from suddenly coming back. Ed somewhere, his ears are pricking up, and he's started cradling a heavy intercessor in his hands, and he's just waiting for that moment to come. And I'm sure that eventually, again, it will. Okay, Rob, passing it along to you, Steph. Pick your faction.
Let's go our favourite top tier army. Let's go Necrons.
Okay.
So,
where are you putting them?
Up until recently, they were 100% S tier because they just have this durability that can score points, and armies can't deal with them. So I'm tempted to put them like upper A.
Yeah, I would agree.
Potentially S, but we don't want that to get full. What else do we have? Let's put it lower S, upper A.
Okay.
Let's go S. S.
Okay, they've gone in S. This is the army that Rob ranked as the easiest to play in 40k last time we did a tier list.
It's almost like if you want reliability, you need an easy army to play that stands on points and scores points as well. No, they're just reliable. You can jam a durable high OC army in the middle, not care if you get shot by almost every other list. There's just not many things that it won't get a 10 against, and if you get the right pairing, you will score much, much higher because you just win the primary game by 30, 40 points.
Yeah, absolutely. They are the sort of evolving stat checky grindy menace in teams. Yeah. There's always another list.
We had the 80 warriors. Then we've had the Tesseract Vault. There's just so many builds in there.
There was that thing with all the Scarabs and the Wraiths and the Obsec in 9th edition that just ran at you and got 100 points.
Yeah.
God damn, I hated that.
They are really very, very, very enduring over time in teams.
Yeah.
Craig Bedford in the chat is absolutely right. They do have some horrible ones. World Eaters. I think that's it. The main problem Necrons have is just they do have to dodge the one or two things that will just
one tap their things.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that's also a very good thing to have in teams. When you have, generally, doesn't really matter what you get paired into as long as it's not that.
Yeah.
That's super easy in a matrix to use.
Well. I guess we'll defend. Done.
Because if that Necron player has 7 draws and a big loss, and then there's one list that your opponent has that you have 6 losses against, you're just like, here, have my Necrons or something that beats you. And they'll take the Necrons.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly right. Ultimately, a matrix like that, where there's 1 or 2 no-nos, but the rest is fine, is better than a couple of brilliant things, but then everything's horrible, right? For almost all armies in the case. And Necrons are like that. They are one of those flat, dependable armies in that sense. Okay, I'm going to chuck out... Oh, let's go Custodes. Custodes is a funny one. It can be pretty good. It has its moments. And it has at least 2 options. You can do the Dreadnought spam or you can do the lots of dudes on foot. I think, broadly speaking, this is probably a B tier across time. It has definitely had its moments. It lives and dies a bit by how strong the stat check or the counter melee tricks it has at a moment in time are. And the Solar Spearhead obviously was very good for a little bit as well as a sort of here's another type of stat check. When they tick the right boxes on the durability front and on the counter-offensive front, they can be right down there scrapping with the best of them. When they are not, they literally might as well not exist, and that can be 4 years at a time. Sometimes, like that can. I think we probably are coming off the back of a year of Custodes not existing in teams now.
It's been lovely.
It's been fucking great. Right, Rob? Tell you what, though, Rob, that's one of the games we can beat. So you want them back. But yeah, Custodes definitely they pop up. They had their moments. They don't tend to be massively complex, but we've had some pretty glorious moments for Custodes in teams as that horrible list of Wardens or Guard that's going to smack you in the face. But obviously, definitely very hot and cold, as Alex says, which seems to be the case for a few of our lower down options so far. Okay, winding it back up to Jack.
Let's go Chaos Knights.
Ooh, spicy.
So I'm going to put Chaos Knights in S tier.
Okay. Go on.
The thing about Chaos Knights is they're another faction with very polarizing matchups. There's some armies that just can't hurt them. Realistically, they have the ability a lot of the time to do kind of whatever they want on the board versus a lot of factions, right? Because if you don't have the right kind of... if you try and take a more balanced list, right, then against the Chaos Knights, you're going to really struggle. They also have the ability to just pick up certain units that other armies just can't at range. Like the double Gatling Despoilers will just pick up units that a lot of other factions can't. They also have the army rule. The Battle Shock mechanic is very useful for holding and denying primary, which is a really good way to push differential. They're good all rounders in general, but when you get them into their matchups that they really like, they can absolutely smash it. There are a few that they don't want. There's some factions that can just pick them up, but I think they're relatively few, right? Or generally quite specialized lists. I think the main issue that Chaos Knights have is then they become too good and they become highly prominent in the meta. That you can build into them, but if you're not in a meta where like everyone's going to be running Chaos Knights, then you're probably going to have an okay time with them. In your team.
they're a skew, right, but a skew with tricks, which always sets them apart a little bit from the IK, and they are comparatively terrain agnostic in 10th because they can go on heavier boards and walk through it, go on lighter boards and shoot you to bits. Doesn't really matter. You can use it in all sorts of ways. So I do think they're a really strong team's army, and live and die a little bit by how much anti-tank is kicking about, but certainly
there's still the Armagus as an option as well, because that's just stable. It's just high AC.
Well, I was going to say that was basically a definitive teams list for pretty much the entire edition until the book came out, right? Which is pretty strong considering it's basically 3 data sheets and a dream just holding it up. A bad dream, one imagines. Okay, moving it along. Alex taking another pick, sir.
I'm going to go for Chaos Demons.
Mm.
And they are going right into the top of A tier.
Right into the top of A tier. Who did you say? Sorry, I missed it.
Chaos Demons.
Cool. Yeah.
Now, if you think Chaos Demons, right now, they've got a couple of really, really strong builds.
They do.
They've got the Scintillating. They've got the Big Demons.
Yeah.
But if you also think back across all of 10th edition and before that, they've just always had different styles of lists that no one really expects, that at the end of the day are just a lot of things with a 4-up invuln that stand on points and take them away from you.
Yes.
And they have also had some very high highlights, particularly the Slaanesh, which completely defined a team's meta for about
was insane, wasn't it?
Right when we went to an international event. But
we had a great time. That was fun.
We had a very good time. But I think they have either been completely irrelevant or probably one of the best teams picks that no one really expects, and you always get surprised by.
I think the parallels with Chaos Knights, where again there's a stat check, but there's a good set of rules behind it. It's not like IK always feels so honest, even though it is a stat check. This has relocation, it has interesting debuffs and buffs, it has good deep strike delivery, and again the book even in 9th it had that as well, right? And then it had the invuln that's not an invuln because we wrote the rules wrong and we put ourselves in a corner and we're just trying to save the day. Well, I can't remember what they called it, demon save or something. It was quite unique design space, and they do always have that. And they love some of our late pairing lurkers. There's a lot of stuff that's hoping for a cute, sneaky game down the end of pairings, and instead it gets whacked by a bunch of monsters.
Then just Roddy just stands in front of it and laughs.
Fatty and Roddy just going.
I think I was saying to Alex this weekend, I was like, they just need to hurry up and confirm whether Demons are surviving into the next edition, because they are just such a strong prospect, but not really something I'd invest in if I think they're going away in like however many months. I mean, they're sensational.
Think about Rogus reducing OC to 0. That screws the only army that relies on OC1 5-man units.
So Eldar, I hate it. Do you remember we had Rob played against it with the Inari when I was with Robbo in the teaming?
I do.
They're phenomenal. Go on, Jack.
The other thing is that large amounts of high toughness 4-up invulnerable is a really good way to stat check ranged armies.
Yes.
T13, like what do you do?
That's reasonable, right?
So,
roll 5s on your Dark Lances, Rob. You got loads of them.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So they're good for that sort of thing. You like them, so.
Yeah, no, categorically, I think they really, really are. And it's only when they can get crowded out for space a bit sometimes, and they have metas where that makes life a bit sad for them, but they're really, really very, very strong. Okay, that then takes it to Rob, I believe. Rob, off you go, Sam.
Let's go Orks.
Orks. This is a very interesting one, I think.
I think Orks are bottom of A.
Ooh. Go on then.
Anytime you see a comp, when you pair and you get to the table and you go, fuck, they've got Bully Boys, they've got Warhorde, they've got what's the one with the 5-up invuln? Everyone goes, that's a loss. That's a loss. Everyone goes, don't want that. It's way too variable. It's just that wild card melee that if you get any of your screens, any of your pacing wrong, and they get an in on that war turn, you just lose. You just lose. You don't score any primary from that point, and you're stuck, and you don't score any secondaries. And a good Orc player is absolutely terrifying in a team's environment if he avoids all those guns that he doesn't like.
Yes, I was going to say, they're another one that needs a little bit of looking after. I think often people don't appreciate the vulnerabilities of Orcs as much as Orc players do when they're the ones having to pair and work out what they want. And as you say, they certainly spook people, and you're like, oh, but what if I just get ward and lose? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that in teams. That'd be sad. but they're a funny one. They have such an uppercut in them, and you can use that actually in a defensive control kind of way potentially if you need to as well. But then they do die, like they
die horribly.
Die sometimes. But yeah, I mean, Warhorde has such a good team.
Also, what other army can fit 44 models in 2 transports? It's fucking
That's
hilarious.
the other thing. The OC and the trucks and the throwing bodies, they've done that a lot across the edition. Obviously, they've got Gaz now. They can do the full Horde thing as well.
Yeah.
And so they've produced some quite enduring teams lists, and some very shooty ones as well. But we'll ignore the fact they've all gone now because
those 2 months
they were too pure for this world. But they often do pop up with a shooting list for a little while, and then they get put in the ground. But you just have to ride that wave while it's a thing, don't you, Josh? Wherever you are. I hope you are enjoying the Orcs still.
You know what, Tom? You've talked me down to a top of B because
that wasn't what I was trying to do.
I'm just thinking of the princessness about them.
I think if Nids are bottom of A, I think Orcs have just as much of a claim. I think they're definitely up there with Nids. I think they're absolutely fine.
Yeah.
If you look at the ones below, the variation of what they can and have done is much less, and I think that's starting to weigh a little bit. The only samey one up there is Chaos Knights, but it's just such a perpetual teams list, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, right. What am I going to do? I'm going to do. What's a Dross one? Is there a Dross one?
There's a couple.
Where's a couple? There's a couple.
What are you thinking, Tom? Just about I think if we ignore the super broken shooting builds, right? I think they're cool in the sense that they have counters to factions that don't normally have a lot of counters, like Aeldari.
Yes.
Right? Their ability to put lots of T5 bodies in the board is a really strong selling point for them.
Yeah.
And they do have the full fight on death, right, with their Warhorde, so they're good into a lot of melee factions. So they've got a lot of... I wouldn't say they have loads and loads of good matchups, but the ones that they do have are really important on a team matrix, with things that are definitely not to be sniffed at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think they get a lot of potential from that. But at the same time, they do have a lot of counters, right? If you put everything in transports and then you play against like AdMech and you get jailed, right? That could be very bad. But the what they bring, the particular, like, they have a very unique matrix, I think, on what they're good and bad against, which I think is a very big selling point for the Orcs.
Yes, because ultimately, as Alex was saying earlier on, being able to get big scores is a big part of it. And Orcs absolutely do that. One way or the other, someone gets a big score.
And 2 CP fight on death.
That's so good.
The one stratagem you would want.
Yeah, they are very dependable in combat games, right?
We're moving Spectral Spider up a couple of spots then.
Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna go World Eaters. I'm gonna put World Eaters in B probably above Black Templars, but in B firmly. I think they're a funny old thing. Me and Alex have some strong thoughts on World Eaters right at this exact moment in time, but we're not going to go into that too much right now. What they are is a great prey army that lurks and smashes certain things, and they do that exceptionally well. They have a good toolkit for doing that. What they're not is versatile as such. They don't have another thing. There's not another plan. There's not another way they're coming at you. There was the Demonkin for a hot second, but that seems to have died. You can do stuff with loads of 8-pound, but it's still running at you. And obviously there was some weird lists with Angron and Mauler Fiends and stuff during the weird summer. But their basic problem is, when understood, their fragility can be a problem, right? They are one of those armies that, a bit like the BA, can die out quite hard when it comes down to it. And they basically trade on being one of the better combat armies in the moment in time. Like Custodes, they can go away very quickly if suddenly they are not winning those games, because they certainly can't attack light board armies particularly happily.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Moving it along then is, I believe, back to you, Jack.
Okay, let's go for... Let's do... Aeldari.
Yeah, where do you want to put them, Jack?
I mean, it's got to be S tier, right?
Yeah, of course it does.
It's
the best ever one, isn't it?
Yeah,
I would say.
Bosh. I mean, what do you say about Aeldari that has not already been said? Right, like the thing.
Say it again, Jack. Say it again.
The ability to put a quite frankly ludicrous amount of damage wherever you need it to be, whenever you need it to be, while ignoring half of the rules of the game, is being incredibly reliable. Is just makes for a strong team's army, right? Yeah. Like there are so many factions in the game that struggle to just do anything against you or make any attempts to stop you doing what you want to do as an Aeldari player, that make it really hard to prevent them from getting points. Not to mention all the mobility, picking up loads of secondaries from that, the various shenanigans you can do, because you've just got so much board pressure as well. That's going to help you get primary.
Yes,
you can deny primary by moving 75 inches with whatever unit you want to. So it's just strong in general.
It is,
but I think the ability to avoid the few games that you don't want, and there is a few games you don't want, really does push Aeldari over the edge. But I'll let. I mean, you're more of an Aeldari expert. I think all three of you are more of an Aeldari expert than I am. I just hate on them really hard.
No, but I think you are completely correct, and I completely agree. And again, I see this very much through the lens of a Drukhari player, where you're like, it's just all the same things, but taken to better extremes, right? Yeah. It's got more pronounced weaknesses in certain ways, but the damage, the speed, the reach. I don't think there's a single army on this list that is better at deciding when and how a game happens, and that is such a powerful thing to be. Right, and it's always got that across time. Obviously, we talked about being overpowered at the start. It also is often overpowered, right? It gets overpowered periodically, and it's very rarely ever so bad that you wouldn't use it, which is a nice space to be in if you're looking for a team's list. And I think the compelling thing is that there is never a team comp that isn't teched against Aeldari, and you still take Aeldari, and it ducks and weaves and gets what it wants almost all the time anyway.
Its units are so specialized. You could just tech into absolutely anything. You've got an issue. Cool. I'll just tech my Aeldari list into it.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see that with that's exactly what Jack was talking about with Leicester, right? Where there will be Aeldari players who will go, oh, actually, if I just switch like 180 points of Aspect Warriors around, I can now solve this problem.
Oh, just got Banshees. This is fine.
Yeah, Banshees, and that's like basically triple Banshee. Okay, fine. Solves a whole bunch of different problems. And again, we saw it at the weekend with myself and Ed both. We got paired into games we're supposed to lose, and we just didn't because it's Aeldari. And it's like if someone makes a mistake, it doesn't matter that it was a good matchup for them. They're dead now, and it's a really powerful army in that sense. And it puts people who get paired into it who are supposed to bring back a yellow are just they're stressed people. It's a tough time. And that's an incredible thing in teams. And obviously, yes, some of the greatest teams' performances across editions have been Aeldari in teams really in different ways. Whether that's Harlequins at one point or whatever else. So yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's, and because it's the Smash army, right? It is a Smash army. It's an enduring top tier army in that sense. Okie dokie.
You think back on all the big team events.
Yeah.
The majority of them, the best army on each team has been Eldar.
Yeah, categorically.
You have your best player on Eldar who will get 20s.
Yeah.
And they come.
Playing it this weekend just gone. It's that classic. It's to be fair, it's a type of army I like, but it's like go on any board and do anything. It like in terms of like it doesn't matter when in pairings I go. If you put me on a heavy board later on, fine. If you put me on a light board at the start, fine. Doesn't matter. It's quick enough. It can play anything, and that's very, very good. Very, very good indeed. Okay, wonderful. I believe that means it's your turn again, Alex.
Oh, yes, it is. Let's go.
I actually want to hear your thoughts on Thousand Suns.
Yeah, team up Thousand Suns. Go on, Alex.
I was going to go for them anyway, guys. Now, if you ask me to play Thousand Suns right now, they're going bang below Drukhari.
Yay!
But over 10th edition, they are an S tier army.
Yeah,
beneath CK. Yeah. Because for probably like 30 months of the game, if you've had And that includes the end of 9th edition as well, when you just took whatever the hell that list was with loads of flags. They just get to do their stuff. You don't get a say in it. They get and now you don't.
I just saw my entire summer flashback behind my eyes there, Adam. Thanks for that. That was good.
They get the board they want, and they get a matchup that they can prosecute, and they just smash. And that's what they have done, and that's something you want in a team. They've defined 2 WTCs. So the first 10th, the second 10th one, they were clearly the best army, maybe second to Eldar GSC.
Yeah, and they had this slight unknown factor as well, right? Which just helped them a little bit. But
exactly. And at this last one, they've also been pretty good. Yeah, one of the best. I mean, they were the top scoring army at the event because they took a list that smashes people. They paired it on the right boards into the right things, and it smashed people.
Yeah, that is it. They are an army that, I mean, I remember watching Sacco use it in Scotland when he came and played with us, but also obviously I've watched you use it a bunch. If you get it, it's game. There is no more certain big win in the game than when T-Sons gets something that it can and wants to prey on. Like, there is literally nothing a lot of armies can do at that point. They are going to get dismembered. Again, watching Vic on stream when he played into World Eaters, me and Alex were remembering that the other day. And he literally just puts a sorcerer in one place, and you're like, "Oh, you're done. It's already over. It's literally one wizard on a disc stands here, and now you're going to die, and there's nothing you can do." So phenomenally powerful army.
I think because obviously not many people are playing Thousand Suns right now, so a lot of people aren't going to know how this works. But I think the thing that really sells T-Suns, particularly in teams, to create a lot of binary matchups for them, is that they have a very unique damage profile in that they ignore a lot of the rules of the game. Yeah, a lot of it's mortal damage, mortal wound damage output with devastating wounds, or just doing immortals with Doombolt. But a lot of the damage doesn't roll to hit, or it has rerolls, or it has, it doesn't. It kind of ignores the rules of the game. Yeah. So a lot of defensive stratagems don't work against them really anywhere near as well as they could. And they don't have to roll a dice for a lot of stuff, right? If you want to double move, you just basically double move. You do technically have to roll your ritual, but it's usually normally with a plus whatever, and you re-roll it and whatever. So it very rarely fails. So you have your double moves, you have your extra damage output, and it's not. You can flip dice with certain characters. You can do all these sorts of things, and you don't have to roll anything. So it removes a lot of the variance. It makes it quite a stable army, provided you can pair it correctly. I think the only reason you don't see it now is because it's too expensive. But other than that, it's a really good army. But I think it's just at the moment it takes an experienced pilot, which there aren't tons of T-Sun mains around. So
I was going to say
I think
does tend to attract specialists. Go on, Alex.
I want to slightly disagree with what you just said, Jack.
Okay.
I agree that they are too expensive, but the problem with Thousand Suns at the minute, and the reason that you don't see any of the experienced pilots playing them, is that they've nerfed all of the ways you can control the variants.
Yeah.
And so what made T-Suns so good was you had this incredible toolbox of rules that if you knew exactly how to apply them and knew that they would get applied correctly, there was just never going to be a world where you didn't absolutely pummel someone.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you are just reliant on rolling pretty well on 3d6. Yeah. And if you don't get 11 and you don't get that full distance, you're just screwed. And you can lose games based off that. So you can't really matrix assuming all your spells are going to go off in a game, or you don't quite have the number of units anymore that you can smooth out the variance of your flaming profiles. It's like, if I go out to kill this unit, I only have my one unit to do it now. So I agree, they're too expensive, but the thing that makes them, in my opinion, unplayable in teams at the minute.
It's that volatility, right? You can't be coming back to your coach and saying, well, I didn't manage to cast the spell and now I'm going to die.
Exactly. You're predicting a 14 and then you fail to get a spell off. So you're stuck in front of that melee unit and you are no longer getting a 14 or anywhere close.
Yeah.
I forgot they took away the double spell casting, or cast it as many times until you get it. I forgot they got rid of that.
And that's why they've disappeared, because
I would put
none of the
money
good players
if there's an army that can be brought back almost immediately by one slate, it is Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
And I'm
it's
very
one of those
curious.
armies that flip. They're either amazing or they just fall off the face.
Yeah,
right?
I'm curious to see if they pull that lever or not. We'll see. But yeah, no, that's very reasonable, Alex, I think. Okay, Robert, this is your pick, sir.
Let's go Imperial Guard.
Okay. Yeah, he's fighting back against Jack. He's nicked the guard off him in revenge.
Yeah. Let's put them in B.
Okay.
I think I could put them higher, but I think we're going to go B because otherwise we're going to have every faction is an auto take in teams.
Where in B do you put them, mate?
I would put them probably above World Eaters.
Okay. Top of B.
Top of B, yeah.
Yep.
So I think Guard are very stable. You've got you got cheap, fast OC.
Yep.
Guys who move 9 inches can be OC4 and cost nothing. So you can deny primary. You can play the defensive game. You've got your Lehman Russes and your Rogel Dawns, which have incredible damage profiles and incredible durability if you get the pairings right. And I think they're stable, but they're not good enough to push, which kind of leaves them in the defender role, which they are very good at, but pushing with them, I think, can be quite difficult because people can just run over your infantry and then you've got to be doing actions and hold on your tanks. So, yeah, I think that they are very good, but again, it takes a very skilled pilot to be able to get big scores with them.
Yeah, I think Guard have a lot of... they very much reward good fundamentals, right? If you know where you have to be, when you have to be there. And, playing your movement and your shooting very well, they do reward that quite a lot. They have a lot of tools for primary denial, primary holding, which is very strong. They're just generally good all-rounders, and they're good at not dying, right? That's kind of something that Guard... I found with the Guard is that a lot of the time they just won't die, which will get you a couple of extra points whenever it shouldn't. This makes it a really good kind of draw army. You can just play. You can also just play like double Rogel Dawn on a light board and blow someone off of it. Yeah. Sometimes that can happen. But yeah, as a probably B is solid for Guard, I would say.
Yeah, completely. I think they've been in this edition very, very consistent. Most of the way through. They have always got something. They're another one. They've got a deep enough roster now. They can always go away and find some weird, stupid unit. They've got an Ogden bodyguard in a 20 brick now for some reason. It's like, for God's sake, where did you find this? And it's very good at reinventing itself, I think. Jack, go on.
I would say the biggest problem that God has is probably the fact that they always seem to have one or two bad matchups in sort of like the most popular factions.
Yeah. Yes.
And that always seems to be something that'll hamstring them. Yeah,
100%. And again, they do have the everything got tagged up and tied up and I'm now gummed up moment in games as well, and that can be a real pain for them. But they are one of the enduring builds.
It's a big flip on going first for them as well, isn't it? If you get jailed, it's you're not returning.
Yeah, you are on foot. You are on foot, right, for sure. Okay, wonderful. Jack went. It was you that went, wasn't it, Rob? So that actually,
it was me. That's up to.
And this is my go. Oh, cool. I'm gonna go. Oh.
You have 20 minutes to think about this, Tom.
I know, but I was busy listening to all of you. I'm going to go GSC. I'm trying to work out where I think GSC go.
I have a spot I would put it.
Oh, it's an interesting one. It has been a big presence in teams for a very long time. It is not currently, which does colour this a little bit. But it has been all the way through the edition in some form or another. And all the way through end of 9th. I think I'm inclined to put it in A.
That's interesting.
I'm inclined to put it in A. And we're going to let it off for occasionally getting absolutely flattened, because it does get absolutely flattened. Okay, I've been flattened enough times to know. But we're not ruling armies off just because they get flattened. Also, Nexos Floof's in here. Hello, that's amazing. Your content is incredible, Floof. Your GSC content is absolutely brilliant. I think GSC in teams can be a very good prey list. It can bully certain things. It can be very specialized. It often has a drop shooting version that is very nasty, especially actually for gunliney type armies that wanted an honest shootout. It can turn up and say, we're going to play a dishonest shootout instead, and it's got that in its locker. Its current rule set is obviously drop right off. So like Alex, we have to forgive the current exact moment because it's struggling a little bit. But it has... What another thing GSC has traditionally had on its side is lots of lists, which, as I think it's Innis who says, as you know, my fail case is I am 200 OC or whatever else it is I'm doing. And I think GSC lists have been very good at that over time. Right at the end of the day, they can always throw a million bodies out, block you off, screen, score, blunt, do everything else. So if it comes down to it, they can play the scrappy surviving game as well.
Sometimes they can just hit a 9-inch charge. And when you have 11 units...
Not against China, but at other times, yeah, exactly. At other times, they absolutely can. Go on, Jack. I'm curious to get your thoughts. I know you don't rate them very much at the minute.
Well, I was actually going to put them in C.
Okay.
Because I think them being good in teams is predicated on them basically having overtuned damage output.
Yeah.
And if they don't have that, they're not really in contention for a spot, so even in an 8-man.
But that is a big part of their faction personality is mad damage, right? That is actually something they often have.
I don't think they have a particularly versatile codex. I don't think they have many tricks that they can run on people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they have a lot of issues in that sense. I think if you're looking at it in the sense of like it has to be not broken, but just like overtuned damage output for it to be good. I don't know if you can. I don't know if I would put it as a solid teams list, right? Because I wouldn't pick it now, right? I don't think it has any like quality. Because put it this way, I think it's very similar situation to T-Suns, right? Where they have like one build that was good and then it got nerfed and you can't take it anymore. But I've still been more inclined to take T-Suns over GSC because I think T-Suns has a lot of unique selling points that I just don't think the GSC has. Because anything that it does, chances are there's another faction that does it better. You want a million OC on the board, Recon Guard is right there, Recruit is right there. Imperial Agents infantry spam is right there.
Now you're just being disrespectful.
He's being disrespectful.
I think there's a lot of factions that do the sort of things that it does better if it doesn't have the kind of overtuned damage output. And I think that's not a virtue. I think that's more of a virtue of its codex being very narrow in its design. I don't think there's a lot of just like wasted enhancements and.
So I'm gonna raise you. No army in the world anti-trades as well as GSC does. No army is capable of that. No army is literally at its core designed to draw resources out for essentially controlled, like no loss whatsoever. Like it has that very much going for it in quite a unique way, and it still does even now. No army has, via the same mechanics, the ability to open up new angles of attack late game in that way. It needs space to do it, is the big thing. And that's always been the issue I've found with GSC, is if you can't make that space, then all of that goes away and it doesn't matter very much. And also that power is only as strong as its ability to handle attrition. I think it definitely does have some unique things going for it when it's all well and good. And as Floof says, based on OC makes it consistent, off meta nice as well. I think now will be an interesting time for it to see whether it manages to find a build, as you say, outside of a time when it's been broken, and whether it actually has an enduring role in that sense.
Yeah, I think like you say, it's outside of when it's broken. It's not something you take to be a problem. It's to solve a single problem. Go, cool, I need to deliver some insane output 6 inches away to dig something out that otherwise would never be dug out. That is what it does, right?
Yeah, and I've always ended up being dragged back onto it to kill something. That is always what it's for, is dropping on and killing something. And it is often very capable of doing that. But again, it needs a meta that's specific for that to work.
It is. I guess it is also kind of like Orks in the sense that the things that it's good against are things that most armies are not good against.
Yes, exactly.
So
like Elves, for example.
It's got that going for it. I'm not going to fight you on your placing. I just wanted to play a bit of devil's advocate there.
No, but I get it. And I'm not sold that the book itself has got quite enough juice going right this second. But I'm thinking certainly across the whole time I've played with it, because I didn't set out to play GSC for the last 3 years, Jack. It won't shock you, but there kept being a good reason to do so, and Teams was the primary reason. So I have to say that suffering has to mean something, Jack. I think is what I'm saying.
To be fair, your other option was Drukhari, so I think it's the lesser of two evils they put you on. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. But no, I rate him. Go on, Alex.
I want to jump in on this discussion. I was about to pick GSC, and I was going to put them above Chaos Knights.
Oh, my word.
I think that's very controversial, but I think you just have to ignore the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And other than that, they've actually had more good builds that have been exceptional in Teams because they can bring the absolutely smash melee list. They have had, for a brief time, Outlander Claw that was just insane and could rely on that baseline OC to just never lose. And then when it got a good matchup, block the hell out of you, and you're getting a 0 on primary, which means you're getting a 0 overall.
I think that's right.
Hosts has been good forever. And as well, something that we haven't really talked about at all. If you do go to a Teams event, until you get into that final round, there is a lot of the time you can just lean on the fact that 4 out of 5 people on that team have never played against GSC. And that means they're coming back with a big old goose egg.
And that's an interesting one, actually, and it's something we've not really talked about, but lists which other people look at and go, no thank you, are very, very valuable. And GSC have that, because people just don't even want to begin to do the mental work of dealing with that.
I also think people look at the GSC list and go, oh, it's a load of stuff. All right. And then they get nothing because they've got no idea how to deal with it.
T3 bodies, 5 up save. This will be fine. Oh, God, it doesn't matter. I haven't hit them at all.
Yeah, for sure. And this, I'm going to say, I think T-Suns are one slate away from being back at it. I don't think it would take an awful lot for GSC either. But we will see. That's not.
But if you're ranking them right now, they're probably going beneath.
Well, they would be literally in D right this second. I've seen nothing good happen to a GSC player in recent times, except Floof, who is having a great time with Final Day, and that is on my slate to explore. But certainly across time, there's always something weird and wonderful in the end. Okay, wonderful. That was my pick, which means, Jack, it's now your turn.
Let's go for Grey Knights.
Okay, another interesting one. If you go,
I'm going to put Grey Knights in C tier. I don't respect Grey Knights in any sense. No, I think they do have a play in the sense of they have their uppy downy, they can get a lot of secondary points and stuff like that. Yeah, I just think they're a very fragile army and a very low damage output, and I think that hamstrings their damage. Their scoring potential quite a lot. Like you can bamboozle with them, people sometimes with them, but I think as a general rule, I don't respect them as a faction. I don't know. Maybe it's because I play factions that really just don't care about them.
I respect them. Oh God.
I think the good matchups for them are few and far between, but.
You've sent the chat absolutely batshit in here, Jack. I love it. People have been stepping
up. Who could have predicted that?
Ed Watts is in, and he's not happy. Funny old one in
Teams. Me anyway, so that's all right.
I'm trying to think of a time where they've done anything other than they've occasionally had moments in Teams where they have blunted the big deal thing. Right? They've been the list that stops the list. But I can certainly very rarely think of like a completely meta-warping GK list that was at the top of the game.
Ed would love to try and disagree with you, but he doesn't have the chance. You stay in the chat.
Ed thinks 30 heavy intercessors are a meta-warping build, so we don't listen to his opinion.
I believe Ed, don't worry.
I'm excited. I think Ed will probably have to come on Fight Night with GK at some point, and then we'll see. That's very reasonable. Okay, moving it along. We go to Alex next. What's your pick, mate?
Ooh. Admech. They're going in... Ooh. I want to round it out, so they're going in the bottom of C, in the top of C. The top of C. They would be bottom of B or top of C. I am biasing myself, I must say, mostly over average performance overall of 10.
Okay, I'm stoking the rage in the chat, so you're going to need to tell me what army you picked, mate.
Admech.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, where are we putting him?
Top of C.
Top of C.
Because they've just been crap forever, and they're good now. And I don't care. And they got me annoyed at the weekend.
Yeah, they stood in front of Alex, and he couldn't have any points this weekend. Which they do have going for them, right? That's the one thing they've had going for them, is standing in front of people and not letting them have any points.
They are right now a very good build, and they do also have that quality that for a long time no one knew what they did at all.
Yeah.
And every now and then, like that Polish list at WTC, they come out and they are just incredible in the hands of people like Siegler and etc.
Yeah.
But I think if you're thinking over 10th edition, Admech have just not been ever considered in teams until very recently.
Yeah, for sure. The Polish have always loved them. They've always had something weird, and the Poles it's all about the space that it blocks up on the board, and that's the entire. Yeah. But that in and of itself is not enough to sustain them over the whole time. No, that's fair. It's a very negative take on Admech. I think you are taking shots at Matt Bell here. I know what's going on, and that's okay. We're going to allow it.
Well, they would be further up in B tier, but I wanted to round out the.
Yeah. We need to get that tier list looking a bit healthier, right? So
I think they've always had like a builds that they can play across the edition. It's just never translated into any form of results anywhere, really.
Yeah, I think so. I would say we're seeing interesting things now, but they've now just become a monster buffed up army, right? And that probably won't last indefinitely.
I wonder if that's Skitarii Hunter Cohort just does what it does so well that they can't buff the rest of the points or across anything else, because everything else would still stay there and Cohort would get too good. Which is
I suspect
now,
so.
right?
Yeah, I suspect so. Okay, Robert, it's your pick.
Let's go Tau.
Oh, he's nicking all of Jack's armies out from under his nose.
I didn't want to touch Tau. You would have called me biased every day of the week.
Yeah, and we will. When you try and have your say in a minute. Rob, go on then.
So Tau, I think, at the top of middle. Let's go middle A, just under EC. I think
that was exactly where I was about to put them on instinct. Rob, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Speaking that language.
So Tau, what they do amazingly well is pick a light board and shoot shit out of people.
Yeah.
So I know it's telegraphed as well. You know, when we were doing our prep for ITT, we went, cool. We need Tau for light boards. Then we need 2 lists that can play Tau on light boards, and then we need 2 other things. So everyone's prepared as well as you can into it. Just hoping you don't get second drop and second turn. Their damage output can be insane if it's applied properly. They can just shoot you off the board and get big scores, and they're fairly, you've got high OC in your breaches and everything because they just clear things off points. You've got piranhas to go start the trade game. They're just solid all round, and it can push the wins if your opponent pushes into you and gets it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have their moments. It's not easy for Tau in some ways, I think, because as you've alluded to, they're always out the front of pairings, right? They're always when the light boards are getting taken, and which does mean people know they're coming. And that means they have to be in a position in the game where they're able to deal with quite a wide range of nasty things. But a lot of the time they are, because they've got the boards to do it and the stuff to do it. They have loads of stuff on the board. They've got lots of bodies, lots of options. They got a big model range. They can flex into different.
Yeah. They got a couple of in broadsides, the Riptides and the big stealth suits, whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, the Ghost Kills.
They've got the durability flex. They're just solid all round.
Yeah, very very solid.
But also,
we had Luke Townsend killing people, didn't we, Alex?
Exactly. When everyone expects the Tau light board first defender, and you go down with something else and take a heavy board and leave it for the second time, that opens up. It can a lot of the time open up some brilliant things for you.
This was what we did all weekend. We had Tau, which was never actually first defending, and then they'd have something go down that did not want to play Eldar and Tau, and it would be like, well, that's your choice, so enjoy that, which is why I got to eat lots of Chaos Knights all weekend, which was great. So yeah, it's just finding the little ways to finagle it and use it, and obviously there are different attachments and stuff in there as well. There is Kroot.
Nah.
I probably would not have put a Tau in A, unsurprisingly. I think that there are a lot of downsides to Tau. First of all, they're heavily board reliant.
They are board reliant for sure.
They're incredibly board reliant because then outside of Montcar, they're not really fast enough to get lines of sight on a lot of boards. I'm not an expert on WTC boards, so I'm not going to comment on them. But I know on the UKTC boards, only Montcar has the ability to see stuff, and that's kind of been taken away with the latest changes to the UKTC boards. So I'm not sure that build is going to survive as a first defender on UKTC specifically. I would say that the faction in general hasn't been a choice for many teams across. Like if you look back across WTC events,
probably the last two, it's been questionable, right?
And the edition, yeah, it's like a fringe. I think there was like 4 Tau lists at the last WTC, and before that, it was like 6, 7. Yeah. It's always been pretty fringe, and I think it rarely makes the 8 as a choice. So I would struggle to put it in.
They've had quite a stinky edition in that sense. They have
because of that, and their reliance on being paired around. Because I think their good matchups are good, and if you can give them a lot more good matchups by pairing around them and giving them the table they want. But I don't know. I think that the results and what we've seen from them this edition would indicate that they're not. Like, I'll probably put them more like B, sort of.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you what, because you've given me exactly the evidence I needed to justify my GSC and A choice now, I'll move the Tau down to B for you, Jack. That's all right. Because indeed, GSC's results speak for themselves. They're A tier. Tau's results are dross. They'll go down in B. Sounds good. All right. Beautiful. We've got him, boys. We've got him. Thank you very much for the super chat, Bonsai Kitty Gaming. We will, of course, talk about Sisters next. I'll take it there. And thanks for signing up as a YouTube member. If you guys haven't, you can super chat and support us. All super chats are going in our 6++ fundraiser. Now we're raising money to buy a stream setup so we can stream Bat Reps in our own studio next year, and so that we can go to WTC and cover the Team England games in the summer as well. So if you want to chuck a little bit of money towards that, we'd love to have it. There is a GoFundMe link, which I'll chuck in the chat in a moment. And yeah, you can sign up as a YouTube member, as Bonsai Kitty Gaming has done. Support us that way. Sisters, eh? They're going in S. Bosh, right up in S. Because they're very good. They're very, very good. They have very good rules. They have very good units. They have very good damage, very good reach, and they have the ability to guarantee things, which is what you want in teams. You want things to be guaranteed. And being guaranteed for, I don't know, for example, I know Rhino goes something like 24 inches and then flame smells in my deployment zone, like happened to me on Sunday, for example. Things like that are quite good, aren't they, Jack? Type wherever you are to be able to do. And so I think Sisters are a phenomenal teams army. The other thing they have going for them is, and I think it's fair to say that Tau do struggle a bit on the board front. Sisters don't, because you can build them in a million different ways, right? You can have the very stagey, hidey melee versions. You can have castigators and the bringers type castles. And the only guarantee is that it's got good rules, it's got good data sheets, and it's very well supported. They get bumped on the head every now and again. They disappear for a bit, then they come back. And they seem to be one of those armies you can build to be a counter melee list, counter gunline list, counter whatever. I think they are best used as a spoiler for other things that already exist, and you kind of design out from there, right? Their strength is in shutting things down and nullifying things. But goodness, yes, they are a very strong and consistent teams army. And again, that little bit rarer and less played and practiced against, which definitely helps them out as well.
I think you bumped them up. They're amazing. They have, beyond Varl 3 Paragons, that book and the index.
They're climbing
so deep.
They've jumped up. Do you want them any further up?
No, they can stay there. They have been bad. Let's remember that they have been pretty bad for a long time.
They can loiter behind Necrons. That's fine.
But you can build them to do lots and lots of different things.
Well,
and as you said, guaranteed outcomes. Very good.
They just trade incredibly well as well.
It's just so good. Like you take Varl 3 Paragons, and then, so much has been good. Like every other data sheet in that book has been taken 3 times because it's been too good at one point.
Yes. Yeah,
I know it's not very.
Go on, Jeff.
It was good.
I'll say it's not very relevant for teams, but 2 weekends ago I played against Sisters, and for the first 2 rounds my opponent was upset that apparently he had nothing left. That because on my go turn I picked up like 6 units, a bunch of transports, some tanks and stuff like that. Problem is that while I was going for this go turn, the more stuff I killed, and he just kept rolling 5s and 6s on these miracle dice. I'm like, please stop, because this is going to be so brutal when you come back at me next turn. And you better believe that when he came out next turn with 3 units of Retributors, Val's unit, and one of the kill teams, he killed 1,300 points of a Tau army.
Yeah,
with activations to spare. That was just, I know it's not super relevant for the teams, but it's just the fact that they can just be super reliable in that sense, and just shred a lot of people. The damage output, their speed, like within bringers, is really nasty. So yeah, that's there's a lot of versatility in there.
100%.
Very good faction.
There's another quality we've not spoken about as well, which is by having defined outcomes, Sisters do often have a deterministically correct way to play the game.
Yes.
But they are one of those armies where you can sit back and go, well, I'm probably going to lose here. And I can sit back and get 8 points. And I just know that that's going to happen. But there's also, I've got this little 6 here. And if I just roll a 5 and a 6, I'm going to hit this 11-inch charge. And my opponent's cooked. But if I don't do it, my points will go down. And you can just sit there and talk to your coach and be like, what do we need?
Yeah.
Being able to manage the level of risk. Actually manage the level of risk.
Yeah. They're another
much
one
better than other armies.
I think the parallels are actually with Eldar, aren't they? Where it's like when you need it, you can get it. And if the opponent pushes you, the risk for them is so severe because of your ability to punish errors and mistakes and other things. So they're both really enduring in that sense, and they just tick all the good army boxes, right? Speedy, good rules, huge damage. It's a very nice place to be, and they tend to be at the top of the game versus other armies that do that sort of thing, which perhaps is why our poor old Tau are lurking down below them in B now. Okay, so that now brings it back around to Jag.
Let's go Imperial agents.
Okay.
They can just
what weird shit are you going to do now?
They can just go in D, right? Like
okay, no, fine, good.
They're not good, right? So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Are
they bottom of D?
They are bottom of D. They're worse. Come on, they're worse than Drukhari, mate. Come on.
In teams, I don't know. They do have the funny build of like we're going to go 120 infantry models with 5 OC each, and we're going to get a load of primary and score, which is fine, right? I watched that happen at the last ITT to Jack Ash's Emperor's Children. It was very funny watching him be on like 8. His pledge was like 18 on turn 3 or something. It was really funny.
Max's pledge turn 2 is just like, I guess they'll die now.
Yeah, just using Noise Marines close combat to pick up units at a time. It was very funny, but like it got 10 points. I think it got 9 points, something like that, and I was like, okay, cool. I mean, it's fine. It's still not a real codex, so it's still going in D. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't. Other than making all your teammates sad, I don't think there's a logical reason for bringing.
If you want to do that, just play Kroot or something.
God bless Kroot. Okay, Alex, your pick, mate. We're running out now.
I'm just going to be boring and put Marines below Eldar.
Yeah, that's totally right, mate. Yeah, where are they? Yeah, there you go. Just there. Bosh.
Can I do another one? We don't need to speak.
Yeah, yeah, you can do another one, mate, if you want.
CSM.
Go on then.
Also not boring. They're going below GSC in 18.
Yeah, that's nice. I like it. Okay, there.
Cool. And now someone else can talk.
He's not expanding it. Okay. I mean, Marines, yeah, we don't need to talk about Marines unless someone really wants to. There's always something you can do, and they have very good rules. They're just always around.
Yeah.
They're just always around.
Good gun, Gulliman.
And they're on the permanent sort of new model, new unit, new tool train. So there's always something going on with them.
CSM are a lot more interesting to talk about, though.
Yeah, CSM is more of a damage thing, right? They're always a good damage army. They can solve damage-related problems. They have several different ways to build. They are more linear than some of the other stuff we've put further up. But they're a very good stat check deleting army, aren't they? They just kill things very, very aggressively.
And they always were as well. Before they got their codex and kind of the things shook out to be the optimal builds came. They had some
that ACDC build. Oh god!
When ACDC could blood surge wherever they liked,
multiple times, times.
Bonkers. I don't think anyone really knows just how good those ACDC rules were, because it is still a good build.
Yes,
and again, they've got a very deep codex, which you can do lots of things with. But at the end of the day, they like to be 10 OC that goes and punches you on a point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's funny because Accursed have kind of it's really opened them up as a team's army, because it could be some power armored dudes or it could be 3 bricks of Accursed, and you don't really necessarily know at any moment in time which way they're going to go, and both are actually very scary in different ways. So that has given them a lot of flexibility in 10. It does always seem to end up back at the 3 bricks of Accursed in the end. They don't quite have the juice that some of the other top armies have, but they're very dependable for doing their job. And Bile obviously was a whole thing as well for a bit as a melee.
Bile is the reason they're so far up.
I think Bile was really good.
If you look at just the Raiders shooting builds, they're landing kind of the middle of B.
Yeah.
But because they've had so many different builds that are so good and so binary as well as just being a dependable little trading thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place for them.
And they're pretty
go on then.
Version of Blood Angels, right? They just do similar things what Blood Angels do, but they do it way better.
Yeah.
They have more damage, they have better movement, more versatility.
Yeah, no, completely. And they've been a WTC staple for the entire edition. They've never been in doubt as one of the things you expect to see in some form or another, and that has not changed. So yeah, very nice. Okay, Rob, shimmy down to you.
Let's go Dark Angels.
Okay.
So let's go between Votann and Templars, I think, in B.
Yeah, solid.
So I think they are quite good, but they, again, suffer with the same as Blood Angels, is it locks out other Marine factions. Dark Angels are a reactive counter-melee army, for the most part. And as such, unless you go Stormlance, you're slow, you're staying on points, you're not pushing people, you're aiming for your 10s unless they make a mistake and you suddenly get a slingshot with Terminators or the Lion. They are solid, they're stable, but that's all they do.
Yes.
I think that's it. They're kind of set in their play pattern.
Yeah, I think their special characters and unique attachments don't really do anything that the default Space Marine attachments don't do already and better. And characters don't do already better. But the one unique selling point that they have is the Deathwing Knights and the Lion build. Counter melee and stuff, which is it's fine. It pushes it up into B tier, but I think it just because it has a unique build where a lot of the other Marine factions don't. It's okay.
It has a thing it does. If you're a combat army with damage too, you are always just hoping this doesn't turn up.
In our comp for IT2, we had Drukhari, Emperor's Children, and Dark Angels. If someone tried to defend with a melee army, they were stuffed. They were getting absolutely done.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I've seen some really funny, speedy shooting Dark Angels lists. They have the builds. I think it's just that Marine thing of there's always a bigger fist.
Something better.
There's always something better.
Something blue.
Something that is often blue these days. Absolutely. Bonsai Kitty Gaming in the chat asks, curious if the tier list changes for different terrain formats, or would it be the same? Yeah, we're kind of formatting a bunch of different things in here. But armies, I think armies that exploit extremities in terrain tend to be able to do it across lots of different terrain formats in different ways.
Yeah.
To be fair, we do have 2 players that play a lot of WTC and 2 players that play a lot of UKTC. So it's
we got good coverage here. We've nailed this, but there's no GW representation. I'm sorry.
No, because those boards are
interesting. I'm playing on them soon. I can't wait.
I like them.
UKTC light.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. So that was Robert, which means it is me. I'm going to take Death Guard, and I am going to take a rare opportunity to put Death Guard somewhere that isn't a joke. And I'm going to put them up there with CSM up the bottom of A. Because they've had a really good few years for once. So well done, Death Guard. You know, who knew? They were a joke when I started playing, and they were the army I played, so I knew they were a joke because people laughed at me and threw rocks and called me names. Mostly they just moved away from where I was and shot me. But they did they did things I didn't like anyway. But they are good. They're genuinely really good. They finally sort of nailed the aesthetic. They are this debuffing counter melee, get close to us, you're going to melt army. They have some defined weaknesses. They have some defined strengths. In teams, they have a set of really horrible things they can do to people. And they are more flexible now than they've ever been in terms of they do have some good shooting. They do have different debuffs that they can apply. And they're, really, really solid, strong, stodgy, hard to beat army. And Virulent, especially these days, is obviously the standout, but that Index Death Guard was actually very good once it had its little adjustments, and it has been, again, a team staple for 2 years now, I think, pretty much. And one that a lot of people, especially at a sort of slightly lower level, I know for a fact, as soon as it's Matrix time, they take a look at the Death Guard and they go, I don't want to go anywhere near it. Please don't make me go anywhere near it. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I think they're very good. I think they've had a very nice, consistent time for the last couple of years.
I mean, they just have really strong, versatile rules, right? So
yes,
they're one of those codexes that plays in a different playing field to a lot of other codexes, and that gives them a lot of leg room, I think, in teams.
Yes,
to just exploit because they have a lot of unique tools, like the 6-inch deep strike and minusing armor and stuff like that. And they have so many rerolls, so many lethal, so many sustained. It just gives them a lot of opportunities into a lot of other factions that that others wouldn't necessarily get. So I think you end up with a lot of potential, a lot of options with Death Guard.
You got those really reliable anchors in especially in Vectorum as well, where you've got Morty and Mini Morty, who some armies just can't deal with them. Cool, you're there. I guess I go to a different point and maybe throw away some units to go and try and deny that primary. And just bleed resources.
Yeah, definitely. And a good Death Guard player really has to know their good and bad games these days. It's not as straightforward as they roll anything, and they can be made to look very ordinary in certain matchups. But in the ones where the opponent has to get involved, they're just so good. Really, really good.
That's not even mentioning the indirect build either.
Yeah, exactly. We had the whole Mortarian. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jack.
We've not even spoken about indirect.
He's got
at all.
Yeah, what happened? There was one list of Mortarian Hammer in the Scotland round this weekend, and we didn't rate it very much. but that was a meta monster for a whole long time, right?
When was it that the Death Guard contagions got changed? Because I think ever since then, they've just been good.
I think it was
in their index,
one of the earlier fixes to the index. Yeah. So it was probably half a year into 10th. Maybe a little more.
I feel like it was Christmas, like 2 years ago, right?
That's it. And they have been just very consistent ever since.
Since then, having to be able to be... Effectively, it's a choice of two things. Like, do you want to counter a melee army that wants to get close to you by making them hit you worse?
Yeah.
Or do you want to kill someone a bit better?
Yeah. And it's great. Those are very good things to be able to do. Yeah, and again, there's that little bit of versatility now, which they have. And obviously, I mean, they got a codex which gave them a million good units as well.
Remember all the builds pre-codex that were just like triple predator and just ruining people's lives?
Yeah. Plague Storm was the thing. I played a game of Plague Storm. I think I played it against Alex, actually. I remember when Alex was testing multiple Dawns, I gave that at least one game. I was like, this is not my thing.
Yeah, that was not your thing, Tom.
No, it was not my thing
at all. It was a good list, though.
It was a good list. It's just not... It just does nothing that I'm good at all.
It's like, I'm just going to put this model here. Now, nothing can go anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So good. Alrighty. So we only have Deathwatch and Imperial Knights left to place. Does anyone have any strong feelings about those, gentlemen?
I think Imperial Knights are an interesting one. I'm much less hot on them than I am the Chaos Knights.
Yeah,
I think if we're going across the entire edition, they'd probably go into C tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
They don't have the flexibility. They didn't have the flexibility of the War Dog build that the Chaos Knights had, and before they got their codexes. And now, they've got some decent builds, but right now it's kind of like a stat check army again, but they don't have the weird versatile. They don't have the weird tricks that the CSM have. They don't have the extra versatility. They're not quite as tough. They and their shooting is okay, but not. There's nothing quite like the double gap despoiler. So
no.
They just don't have the melee of Chaos Knights, which is I think the big side. Because I think every time I've played them, you go, "Cool, Drukhari. I'm not going to kill them, but I'm just going to tag them, and they can't do anything anyway, and it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
They just have they have a lot more fail conditions.
I think Knights they've had kind of 2 instances where, the Codex got released. That never actually hit.
No, it didn't.
But the Codex and the just idiotic points drop that they did when they lowered the toughness with the Chaos Knights Codex kind of made them, oh my god, this is the most insane build ever. And then you actually workshopped them a little bit, or you hit them with one nerf, and all of a sudden they are just bad. They're just bad.
Yeah, completely.
They don't do anything that well. They are just a stat check, and you don't like to be a stat check in a meta where everything kills everything.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's it. The game now is just so lethal anyway that they literally had to be killing you in your deployment zone before you could do anything levels of good to be relevant.
That list was such.
Oh man!
Stupid.
Remember when you and Nas played that IK Mirror?
Yeah, man. So
20 minutes long. It was great.
It's like playing a different game. It's like playing Kill Team.
Yeah.
That list was just 4 bigs and 4 little knights in our list. It's just
running.
It's a printing error.
Yeah, it's just disastrous. And then Deathwatch. Deathwatch is a funny old thing. Anyone got any strong feelings on Deathwatch?
I know very little about Deathwatch, and what I have seen and played against them, I was not impressed. So,
do they take the Marine slot?
No.
Yes.
They don't.
I don't think they do. I don't think
Well,
I don't think
they take it away.
Oh, sorry. I mean, you mean is it your choice of Marines if you have?
Yeah, does it use the choice of Marines?
Yes, it does.
If it does,
yes,
I'm putting them in D. They're just going in D.
I'm saying they're going up to C because when they're playable, they're similar to GSC, where I've played a few team tournaments where someone on my team was playing Deathwatch.
Okay.
And both times they brought back 90-something points.
Oh, wow.
Because you're not going to get a better lightboard army that's going to shoot off the table.
Right, okay.
Because they have the 6-inch Super Strike and they've got 1 million shots.
Yeah.
And they use Scent Devs well before Raven Guard used Scent Devs. They're not bad. They have Marine data sheets.
Uppy downy shooty.
And they get uppy downy shooty.
Big unknown factor too.
Yeah, okay.
They do have a problem with AP and stuff, so that kind of that does knock their matchups a little bit. But again, I think the main issue for them is that they take the Marine slot. So a lot of people wouldn't be interested in them because of that. But they do have a lot of tricks. So
and they have been interesting and quite good for small periods at a time.
Yeah.
But a lot of times in 10th, Deathwatch have come out with something and people have turned around and gone, oh, and then absolutely smash people. And then they get one little nerf or a Marine thing comes out that's slightly better. And it's like, I'm going to drop these toys now.
Yeah, they've had a WTC or two. They've turned up.
Exactly. They won LVO.
Yeah, they just it's a strange one for them.
I don't think they've ever really done well at an ITT that I can remember.
I don't have any concept. I can't think of a team that's used them really.
Their players are so far and few between, right? So
exactly. And at the end of the day, they're not the best players because the best players are playing better Marines.
Yeah,
there is one faction that's not on the list here that should be that we've missed off, and that's Space Wolves.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh no!
So
Quick,
I'll fix that at some point. But
I'll stick an image in, Jack. You just talk about Space Wolves. Go on.
I would probably. I mean, it's not going to be very exciting. I think it kind of just sits in a similar situation to Blood Angels. In that it's not the top. It's very rarely the top Marine pick, and has very little to. You don't have to add Space Wolves if you don't want to. Oh, you got it. Fair enough.
Look at him. He's a joy toy.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll probably stick it down next to the Blood Angels.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it just doesn't have much in the way of unique builds that any other army doesn't do better, and it takes the Marine slot. So that kind of sucks for them. There's nothing wrong with the faction in general. I just think it's just not the best Marines, which is unfortunately quite a big hit to its general play. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I know. Yeah, I always. I mean, the conversation, the joke I've always had with them is like, it's just Blood Angels that can't fly, and so it's like I like stuff that can fly. I think that's really good, and I don't like stuff that can't very much. And they're on foot. The Wolf Jail has its moments. It can be a very horrible list, and they often have a sort of big stuff slaying vibe that is occasionally useful in a team. You want to run a bunch of wolfen into something and smack it to death or whatever. But yeah, it's just that they don't tend to have the same range that some of the other Marine builds have had and can have.
I think we do have a very short memory because they were by far the best Marine army at WTC.
Yeah, they had the broken Iron Priest for that one. That one event that got fixed after list loss.
It never caught on after that, did it? But they were. You're right.
Well,
they were.
They lost
I never got to play against them, sadly, so I didn't find out.
Because that was the event they were the best Marine faction, right? Or one of. They weren't even it wasn't even a universal pick for Space Force at that event, if I remember right. So there were lots of.
They were pretty. They were. This was probably their biggest one for WTC. The Wolf Jails was a thing a year before for like a couple of teams, but not.
I don't think they ever reached the level of dominance. It was a short period of time, but I don't think they ever reached the level of dominance that like Ultramarines has now, for example.
No. Cool. All right. Well, we've done it. Thanks very much for tuning in, guys. That was a lot of fun. Alex, thank you for coming on. I hope you enjoyed yourself. It was a lot of fun to have you.
Thanks for having me.
I think, that's your team's tier list. It looks not unlike our singles tier list, but maybe with some nuances too. I'll be interested to compare them at some point.
Definitely didn't have T-Suns at the top, that's for sure.
No, we definitely did not. No, we've been able to actually
probably take them down to C. And
we've zoomed out a bit with this, which is good, I think. So hopefully some food for thought for any of you teams aspirants out there. Thanks.
This does need a little asterisk zoomed out.
Everybody who's supported the fundraiser already, a huge thank you. We've raised a whole bunch of money towards our stream goal already, which is absolutely incredible. You all absolutely rock. We'll let you know how that all goes and add additional elements to that fundraiser as it goes on. Okay, amazing. That's us.
Just want to remind people.
Yep.
This Thursday we have TTS Fight Night.
Yes, we do.
So come and join us for that at 7.
Yeah, I think we'll go early. Yeah, so that's me and Jack throwing down.
Yes, we'll be playing that. So if you want to come see some Guard versus Aeldari action,
you
can come check that out.
And it's not any old Aeldari because all the England stuff is over for the year, which means I'm going to get weird with it now. I'm excited.
Better be Yunari.
You want to watch me bounce and die after a couple of turns, or the other thing. It should be a lot of fun. So yeah, it'll be good. And there's nothing better than watching Jack play against Aeldari rules, guys. You want to come along to that. So yeah, massive thank you to you all. You're all amazing, and we'll see you again next time. Bye now. Bye bye.
Bye.
Go to bed, nerds. Bye bye. Bye.